Dun, 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 dun. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Unknown Games Podcast. Yo, it's here. The day is finally here. Me and Alex are so excited. Alex is taking off work to play it. You know it. Final Fantasy VII Remake, the promised game of the century. Okay, of the decade? You know, it's finally here. This is huge. By the time you're listening to this, it means that you are either playing it or not, but it is out. It is out and the day is upon us. Let us all celebrate. Yay! Yay! Yeah. Yeah. And it came out on Good Friday weekend. We have no clue if this was on purpose or not, but we make some crazy connections about Good Friday and the Doomslayer. We're talking Doom Eternal, and we're also talking Valorant because people are just like, dude, I'm recording this after we recorded the podcast, but 1.2 million people are watching Valorant being streamed. I still can't figure out what's so good about this game, and I am trying. And after that, you know, we got to talk more about that FF7, the launch hype, that trailer they put out. It's some good stuff. And then, you know, closing out a little bit of news with The Last of Us. And yeah, this show starts kind of crazy and it ends kind of crazy. And it's a good, great, wonderful episode. I cannot say. Maybe the promised reunion was us finding ourselves. It's a great show. We hope that you like it. And remember, you can follow us on social media on Instagram and YouTube at UGP_cast. And you can also check us out on YouTube at Unknown Games Podcast. Now, remember to tell your friends, family, mothers, fathers, dogs, cats, pillows, everything that we've mentioned so far. You can just tell everyone about us. Let them know that, hey, new gaming podcast on the block. And hey, there's some pretty good people. We always thank you so much for listening. I mean, you guys, girls, can't say enough. Before I ramble on too much further, please stay safe. Please stay healthy. We're all fighting this coronavirus together. We're all in this together, one world, and we hope that you are enjoying your life as much as possible, even under these circumstances. So after this, you're going to hear the sponsorship break, and then after that, it's going to be the show nonstop, no breaks. We hope you enjoy it, and thanks a lot.
Hey, Jen, never thought about making a podcast?
All the time, except for we are already making a podcast.
No, but I mean like a different one. Maybe a better one.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was on the internet. I was trying to figure out like what's the best host for a podcast, or, you know, pretty much how can I make a podcast? And I think I settled on Anchor.
We're already using Anchor, buddy.
Wait, are you serious? Are we actually?
I'm actually serious because it's free. And of course, we're on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and like Google Podcasts, and so many other places.
Wait, how did we do that though?
Anchor did that for us.
Oh, just like automatically, right? Anchor will just distribute your podcast for like free?
Exactly. Wait, I thought you did the research.
Yeah, well, I kind of did, but I do know that Anchor will help you make money from a podcast. Cash money.
Cash money grabs. Exactly. That's how we're making money right now, I think.
Absolutely. Like right at this very moment.
At this very moment with this sponsorship.
Well, I mean, also Anchor has some pretty cool creation tools that let you record and also edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Because I know you got one of those, probably.
I do have a computer, but I don't have a phone.
Well, whatever. You can still make a podcast because in 2020, there's no reason why anyone shouldn't have a podcast.
Everyone deserves a voice. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Anchor is just everything you need to make a podcast, but just all in one place. You can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Enjoy the show, everyone. Thanks for listening. Hey,
sorry, now we can go.
Oh, okay. I wonder.
I want you to not edit this. This is how we start.
If we just started. Okay. Okay. I was wondering. I was like, okay. Okay. So I'm just waiting for it to go again.
No, there's no going again. That's the start of the podcast.
What the heck? Oh wait, are we live now? We're live
Yep.
now. Oh snap! Did I clap?
I think you clapped and then I hit the button at the same time.
Oh well, snap. Well, and through the magic of editing, everyone, apparently we're live. It's April 6th here in Japan. My name is Adrian, and this is the Unknown Games Podcast, episode number 29. We're so close. I have a cool co-host. His name is Alex.
Did you call me a ho-host?
I don't know.
Hey, what's up? I'm Alex. I'm the ho-host.
This entire like start has got me going like what just happened? I'm lost.
You
I'm
sound like you said that like you had a gun to your head.
Oh no. Like seriously, everyone, this is called like frightened Adrian. This is what happens in any game like Apex or Monster Hunter when shit just goes down and I don't know what to do and I start panicking. That's what happened. You're witnessing a panic attack. Alex knows exactly what to do. We've got a great show for you today, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wouldn't be here without you. I mean, we would technically be here, but we would just be talking to no one. And, thank you, as always. And you can always follow us on social media. You already know the links, so I'm not even going to say them because you already know them in your heart. Today's show, we're going to be talking about some games that we've been playing. On top of that, after the break, we're going to talk about our news that we've been looking at over the past week. Still having a panic attack. Can you take over, Alex?
Yeah, so stick around, some good stuff this week. I hope you're all being safe and stuff. Let's get right into it. So, I guess we'll just start with what you've been playing. So, since we last recorded, I think you've been playing Nioh and stuff on stream. So, how's that going?
Yeah, man. Nioh has been pretty interesting. Like, if you want to know, you can follow me on Twitch at Ninjatrix, Ninjatrix. I stream every week, twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Japan time. Oh man, I gotta calm down. Anyways, yeah, Nioh's been pretty cool. I'm still a little bit over leveled, and I haven't been dying a lot. I died, and I think you watched the last stream. I died maybe like I don't know,
A lot,
5?
yeah.
No, it was like 5 times. It was okay. No, you're right. I did die a lot on this duel that happened, and Lord knows, I finally turned Cortana off on my computer because she activates randomly. Like I'm in the middle of the fight. I don't even say, "Hey, Cortana," and lo and behold, the game closes. I'm like, "What?" And then I died. But anyways, I turned it off finally. There's a good clip.
You just like disabled Cortana. I think I have her. I have her disabled as well.
She gets triggered off anything. Even like Japanese TV will trigger her.
Yeah, it's probably just not listening. It's matching too loosely, basically. So I remember when Google Assistant like just kind of came out in like the early 2010s. So this is like 2012 or 2013.
Yeah.
You could trigger Hey Google with like, oh, I just triggered my own Google Home. Stop listening, please. But you could trigger it by saying,
Sorry, I don't know.
yeah, I know. I heard you. Yeah, I said stop.
This episode is a train wreck.
Yeah. So
A good one though.
You could trigger it by saying "Hey Bagel" because it sounded like it was kind of similar. It doesn't trigger it anymore. It got smarter, but that's yeah.
Oh man.
I think Cortana's not as smart.
She's not up there yet. It's okay. You can like if I could pat her on the head, I would. Not like pat her like pat, but I mean like pat her. This is a good episode, everyone. I'm flustered, but yeah. So Nioh is I'm having a lot of fun. I'm finally from. I moved from the first part of the game, which is in Kyushu region of Japan, the southernmost islands. Now I'm in what's like north of Kyushu. Is it
What's
still
north of Kyushu?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really that good with my Japanese geography.
Me neither. I'm getting closer, I think, to Kyoto area ish. Like I think I'm moving on my way to Osaka essentially. And I'm on about the 3rd or 4th main mission. And so far, like I said, it's been pretty smooth. The bosses are still kind of weird. There's some good bosses. The centipede thing that I fought, I don't know what that was. That just made me go like, WTF, what's happening? But yeah, the game's going a lot. I'm having a lot of fun. and I'm still enjoying the combat. I think that duel that I did do, which was goodness gracious, it made me learn a little bit more about like changing stances, how important it is to just kind of vary up your attacks with the stances, and that you get bonuses for doing it. So,
Uh-huh.
the more times that you do a key pulse and change your stance, you'll get like essentially almost like a double bonus in terms of recovering your key and dealing extra damage on your next attack. So it's really important to make sure you're doing your key pulses, changing your stances, and trying to figure out if your enemy is like weak to high, medium, or low stance, and yeah, and using
Oh
the right
yeah.
weapons. So I've been enjoying it honestly, and like I said, the cool thing about Nioh is like even though I'm dying, when I die, sometimes I know like okay, it's my fault, or if it isn't, then I'm still just like you know what, let's go back in. I'm having fun to it. So
Yeah, I think that's the important, or that's kind of the appeal of Soulsborne games is like those games are hard, like they're notoriously hard. But rarely are those deaths like cheap. Like whenever I die, where I've only played Code Vein, but like whenever I have died, I know why I died, and it was basically my fault, and I'm not blaming the game. You know what I mean?
right, right. I mean, like the only times that you can honestly kind of blame the game, it's like, like the kind of scare closet moments for like Neo,
Oh yeah, yeah,
freaking
yeah,
bats. Like you're on a cliff, you're walking on the edge of a cliff. There's no railing, of course, and then out of nowhere, bats from a cave. You can hear them. They just, hit you about 3 or 4 times and knock you off. And you're like, really, really bats,
yeah,
freaking
yeah.
bats.
There's a couple moments like that in Code Vein as well. Well, you're kind of going down a hallway or something, and then like an enemy around the corner will just pop out and just like hit you.
Yeah,
If you're faster, you can actually parry it. You can dodge it.
you can dodge it or
It does
stay
it
on
does
there.
give you a window for you to basically not get hit.
Exactly. And like
So
I
yeah.
think once you've played enough of these kind of games, like one run through with Bloodborne and then with Sekiro, like I know where they are or where items are
Hmm.
hidden because like
Exactly.
it's like the same formula. They don't even try to change it. It's fine. They're like,
Yeah.
we expect you to know where the scare closets are.
Yeah, they're not randomized, right? I've done 2 playthroughs of Code Vein now, right?
Hmm.
So when I did my second playthrough, it was way faster because I knew where everything was and I knew where those moments were, so I could get through the game way faster.
You can like it's crazy how they design these games to where yeah, even if you want to do a speed run, it's like I watched Bloodborne. I think it was 15 minutes or 20 minutes or something, like just done. I'm like, it took me it took me a while, but going back and looking through it, you're like, you finally see like how it's always connected, and you can kind of go back and um, do the game in a different order for certain games, for certain Souls games. I know that's the case.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm having a good time, and I'm also playing Ori and the Blind Forest on stream. It's been a lot of fun. It's calming. The platforming is good. Ori is a little bit too floaty for me, but I think I've gotten used to it, and uh, it's not like to the point where I just can't, deal with the floatiness. It's a good, precise type of floaty, if that makes any
Right.
sense in a platformer. So it's good. I've been enjoying it. I don't have anything
That's
else
good.
to say
That's
because
good.
it's an old game. It's an old game. But Steam, stop doing these sales, please. I don't have much more
Yeah.
money left. But you've been playing one new game, and you finally finished the Holy Grail of Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Well, I wouldn't call it a holy grail, but yeah, I finished Pokemon Sessions Encore last Saturday, actually. Yeah, so a couple
Yep,
days ago.
it was good.
It took me like 50-ish hours, which is a pretty standard length for a JRPG.
Hmm.
When I first got into it, I don't know why, but I had the impression that the game was shorter than it was. I think it's because I looked at a walkthrough, like I checked the chapters.
Yeah, we thought they were like what 4 or 5
Well,
chapters
there's
only or
6
something.
chapters.
Yeah,
And then just the speed that I was getting through chapter 1 and 2, I was like, oh, this game will be over in no time. Because I went
hmm
through chapters 1 and 2 real quickly, and I saw that there's only 6 chapters. So
right, right.
I thought it was like way shorter. But I think, well, chapters 4, 5, and 6, well, not 6, but 4 and 5 are a little bit longer, or they can be. And I also I sunk a couple hours into doing basically the side stories, and I was kind of grinding a tiny bit.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that added some length, I guess,
Link
to
to
my
it.
playtime. I didn't do everything. There's a couple encounters I think that I didn't do. I barely did side quests.
Wow.
And yeah, and if you want to do New Game Plus, you can. I'm not going to, but
Like if
yeah.
you had to give a definitive yes, you should buy this game, no, or maybe with the like some type of if you like this X amount of type of game or something, like what would you recommend this? Like what would you say to people who are thinking about potentially picking it up?
I don't know. I would say like yeah, you should pick it up, but with an asterisk. Like it's not my favorite game of the last like couple years or the last couple games that I played.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not a bad game though. The battle system for me is pretty good. It's really similar to well, I mean, it is basically a Shin Megami Tensei game, so it's really similar where you're basically exploiting enemy weaknesses, and then once you find what that weakness is, it's all about like drilling into that weakness and trying to
Right.
like get them out as quickly as possible. You can also be comboed yourself, so if an enemy exploits your weakness, like they can combo on you,
Okay. Okay.
and you can very easily die.
Okay. And I got to say, because I was watching Alex play this on stream, and I mean, like the last kind of boss battle was pretty funny because he had this assist. I guess is it an assist? Like what is Barry? What is Barry?
What
You
is
have to
there? That's a
you
good
have to
question.
explain
Yeah.
what is Barry. This
Well, he's a side character in the game, so he's not playable, but he's like a supporting cast character. And in the game, when you do, usually you get them to through the side stories, but there's a thing called a dual art, which in the middle of one of your combos, there's a chance that that you can trigger it. It's kind of random chance.
okay.
So the more dual arts that you have, like basically the more potential you have for damage in battle. But there's one dual art with a character named Mamori and Barry, and
Barry.
it's basically one strong attack and it heals your party. So it's pretty useful. They're all very useful. But this one I was using for the boss fight because I didn't have status effects at that time, and I just wanted to do the like damage.
Right. Right.
So that was the one that I wanted. So I was hoping for Barry's dual art to come up, and it did come up a couple times.
It came up in succession. It was amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
Barry's a
yeah.
guy in a bear suit, so it's
No, he's not. He's not. His whole thing. I mean, if you haven't played the game, I guess okay. So Barry is a stereotypical otaku.
okay. Okay.
He's like he's a foreigner, right?
One of us.
Yeah, right. And he lives in Japan. And he's a huge like anime fan.
Yeah.
And the whole game he's like he's basically he's stereotypical otaku, right? So he's kind of chunky, and he is, I guess, dedicated to a fan base.
Okay.
And the one thing that I don't like about Barry is he speaks with a stereotypical foreign accent.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so he's like,
How do
"Watashi
you know
desu ka?"
that?
No, well, I mean, I'm playing. There's no English dub, right?
Right, right.
It's Japanese, but he's
Oh,
like
so he's like,
he
"Gomen
stresses the wrong
nasai."
parts of the words, right?
Oh,
So he'll say
that's
like
so good.
"sumimasen" or uh, like what? I don't know. I don't know. But the stereotypical
it's so hard.
Japanese.
It's so hard to do it. Like when we
Yeah,
actually speak Japanese, pretty
yeah.
decently. It's like, oh my goodness, like where did you come from?
He's like nani te masu ka? You know what I mean? Just like really weird like stress on the wrong parts of the word. So he speaks with a stereotypical Japanese or a foreigner accent, right? And it's really irritating.
It's okay. Don't
to
ruin
hear.
Barry. Just let Barry be like he was in my mind, just an innocent guy in a bear suit
What was a dog suit?
or dog suit. Anyways, you're also playing Doom. I'm just gonna skip over Barry because it's like we get too far into Barryland.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. Not a lot of people like him, to be honest.
Dang.
But yeah, I finished Doom as well. I finished Doom
Oh
on
wait, you
Saturday.
finished Doom, dude? How many days
Yes.
did you? Because you were okay. So you were playing Doom not Insanity. What's the
Nightmare.
mode
So
called? Nightmare.
yeah.
And then you beat it in 3 days, 2, 3, 4.
Well, my playtime is 33 hours, but that's also me like replaying a bunch of missions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that I beat it in around 30 hours.
Which is pretty good, and about I think around the same time as like the original, like Doom 2016, like if you just kind of did a lot of different things, like it clocked in at a pretty good 20 to 30 hours, I feel.
Yeah, there's a lot of collectibles in this game. There's more than there was in Doom 2016. 2016, you had basically just like
The
the
doors,
levers.
the levers, which I
Yeah.
heard, are they even in
No, no,
this
no, no.
version? Okay, they're gone. Okay.
So you had the levers and you had the toys, the collectibles.
Hmm.
And then in Eternal, you have collectibles, you have vinyl records, and you have, well, I mean,
I guess would you consider the
there's
runes kind of like collectibles? They're not
sorry,
really
what?
collectibles. The rune challenges, they're not collectibles per se, but
Oh yeah, yeah. There's like challenges like they're called Slayer Gates now, where you
dang,
uh
Slayer gates sounds hype.
so okay, so they added a thing called Secret Encounters, which is um so you'll find. Do you remember the gore nest from 2016 where you grab the heart and
Oh
you
yeah,
like
you grab and enemies just spawn
yeah.
all over the place. Yeah.
So that thing, that gore nest looking thing, it's in Eternal, but they're only for secret encounters. So if you find one, you can grab the heart, and then it'll trigger a secret encounter. They're always timed, so you have to like basically win it within a certain like time limit.
Time limit. Okay.
Those are called secret encounters. And then there's another thing called Slayer Gates, where you have to find a key somewhere in the level, and then you have to find a door somewhere in the level, and then you can unlock this arena fight. And Slayer Gates are like way harder than like secret fights. They're
So-
not timed, but they're like they're pretty difficult.
Are they making you use? I mean, I imagine they're doing this, but are they making you use the weapons in different ways, or can you still kind of just go through and run and gun to an extent? I know you played on Nightmare, so that's a different experience than most people will have. But were you finding yourself having to use the weapons in different ways, or
You have to
differently?
basically like just use all your weapons. You have to know the strengths of all your weapons, and you need to basically use them precisely at the right time, like for the right situation.
okay, okay,
So
and then, yeah,
yeah, I mean, it requires a lot of fast switching. Like, I'm really glad that I'm playing on PC
Mhm.
Because I can rebind. And I had to do this. I had to rebind my weapons to places on the keyboard that made more sense for my fingers.
okay, okay, and because like on a console, I mean, even on PC, they have the quick switch wheel, and
Yes,
that
yeah.
slows down time. If I remember, I mean, things are still happening, but your time is slowed, so you can actually take a breather for a second.
You actually do have that on PC as well.
Okay.
So if you want to play that way, if you want to use the weapon wheel, I mean, it's still in the game, even on keyboard and mouse. Like if you want to use it, it's there.
Okay. Okay.
There's also a couple power ups you can have, like the runes. I didn't use these, but a lot of people are using them because they're very useful. Is if you hold mouse 2, which I don't know what that would be on console.
like
I
an
guess it'd
alternate
probably be
fire or
left
something?
trigger. Yeah, it would be like probably left trigger on console.
Okay.
But if you are in midair and you hold mouse 2, time will slow down.
Oh, that's nice.
So that lets you line up headshots and kind of like assess the situation a little better.
Oh, okay. I mean, I did like the runes in the first, like in Doom 2016. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was fun just doing all the challenges with them, but it was also fun getting the passive benefits that came with them. So something like that for me is like really good because you heard on the beginning of this podcast, I went into panic mode, so I need to slow down time.
You can only equip 3 runes at a time.
Oh, that's more than
and-
the first one.
And eventually, like you'll get all the runes by the end of the game, so you can choose which runes work the best for you. So I went with, like, near the end of the game, I did faster glory kills. So glory kills just go faster.
Okay, because you can still get damage during.
You can
glory kills,
still
right?
take damage
Yeah,
while yeah. So I did faster glory kills. I did launch into glory kill from further away.
Oh, okay, so you can just zip around and.
Oh yeah,
your
I was
glory kill.
basically using glory kills as movement because it like teleports you basically.
Jeez.
It's like
Yeah,
the
that's good,
commando
though.
knife from Modern Warfare 2. Like it would pull you over.
But like you were saying, because like on Nightmare, you have to you need to get the health and the ammo. Like
You got to move, yeah.
you gotta
and
move.
then
You gotta move.
the last rune that I used was you get a speed boost upon doing a glory kill. So after you do glory kill, you would move like very quickly.
Oh, okay. So that's really cool. And on top of that, you still have all the new movement options that they've added into the game. The double.
Yeah.
We were talking about, like, was it the double
The
jump?
double dash, there's an
And-
air dash. The double jump, you get to double jump like from the very beginning. You don't have to earn it like you did in 2016.
It's so crazy. Double jump, double air dash, Then you
And
have
then
a
there's
grapple,
the grapple hook, right? Yeah, yep.
and then the rocket thing. Like there's so many different options that you can. I would even say like different play styles, kind of in a way that you can kind of try to use. Like I'm excited to actually play the game.
It's
Like,
fun. So like, yeah, I played on Nightmare and I did die a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I died a lot, but then it makes you a better player because then like every time you die, you're just like, okay, how could I approach this better? Or like, why did I die? Or you know what I mean?
right, and
You kind of can approach it in the same mindset that you would approach Bloodborne, for example.
mm-hmm.
So you just like by the time you get to the end of the game, you're like genuinely a good player because you have like kind of developed the skills. Like when you learned, like in Nioh, when you like did that duel, right?
Right.
And you got something out of it. Like that's how I got a lot of stuff out of encounters in Doom. So
I think like what I'm finding like really fun about games now is even though I'm dying in certain games a lot, and I think like I don't know what it is, but a lot of the games I've been looking at, Last of Eden, which is this really cool little indie Mega Man Battle Network card game roguelike that came out. I'm thinking to myself, this looks hard as heck. I don't know if I could do it, but I find myself being attracted to the fact that if I can even get past half the game or like learn that skill set and kind of, there's something about that reward, like you said. You go into something that's so hard and then you walk out of it learning a little bit more about the game, your combat skills getting better, and then every encounter after that just gets a little bit easier and you start enjoying the game in a different way, which I don't know if that's how I always enjoyed games, like,
yeah.
or if that's just something that's inherently new within gaming now that I'm just now experiencing.
Yeah, I think it's like that's really the appeal of Dark Souls. And I didn't get this at first because like when Dark Souls was really new and everyone's like, oh, it's so hard. You die all the time. At first I was just like, why would I want to play that? Like I want to play games to relax and have fun. Like I don't want to be frustrated. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to pay money for that.
Right.
But now I see the appeal. Like I actually like maybe you're not leveling up, or let's say like you're not getting shiny ranks or whatever, but when you as a player, when you see that you have grown, like you are going back to an encounter that you had trouble with, but now you are like kicking the boss's ass, like that feels great.
Yeah.
That feels so good.
Yeah, and it's just that wonderful balance of it's like the game keeps you in check. We talked about this last week with Code Vein and also Nioh. It's like, yeah, you know how to go and you know how to just rip these things open, and even in Doom. But if you take it for granted, you will get slapped. You will get slapped back.
Yeah,
die.
exactly.
So it's I'm looking forward to seeing that. And by the time this podcast goes up, the day of glory hath come upon us. Am I talking about Christ's death? Could be, maybe.
What?
Or oh God. I just made this connection. I think no, it's not. Okay, so Final Fantasy VII will be out by the time this podcast goes up, and by the time this podcast goes up, it will be Good Friday. So I don't know.
Is it actually Good Friday? Is it the 10th? I'm really not religious, so I actually had no idea. Is it really Good Friday?
Good Friday is going to be this Friday, the 10th.
Oh wow! So I mean, if you are Christian or Catholic, then I guess. What's Easter? It's like is Easter about?
So Easter is the resurrection on the 12th, on that Sunday, and then
so
the
you're
10th
supposed
is
to
the
so
death.
do you give thanks for Christ, or like what is Easter really supposed to be? Not about bunnies, really. What's it supposed to be about?
So like essentially, he was kind of paraded into the city on Friday, so it's like the celebration of then going to his death. Not that anyway, so he died, and then on Sunday he was resurrected after, as my friend Ravar says, beating the brakes off of the devil. He's basically the Doomslayer.
So he respawned, right? He respawned.
He respawned, and with that, it's essentially symbolizing and saying, I paid for all of your sins. I defeated all that was death itself, anything that caused you death and sin. As long as you believe in me, you shall also be resurrected.
Okay, so yeah, he's the Doomslayer. Yeah,
he's the Doomslayer. Wow, dang. Anyways,
can you just imagine? Oh my God, yeah.
So yeah, my friend, every time, friend of the show Ravar, he's like, yo, what I really want is when I get to heaven, I want a replay of exactly what happened during that fight. I'm like, oh, you want a replay? What? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Jesus himself. I'll be like, hey buddy, like let me like tell me how it went down. He's like,
Tell
oh
me.
man, it was crazy, dude.
You play Doom? Did you ever play Doom? It's just like
Yeah, it was exactly like that. I was I had the
oh
blade on my
man,
arm. Yeah.
oh man. So
Anyways, yeah.
yeah, Final Fantasy 7 will be out, and reviews are already up for the game. If you can censor yourself from them, like just stay away from the headlines themselves, because those are half of a review in and of itself. But yeah, Alex, you're taking off work, I hear. Play
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
some
I mean,
FF.
because I have a lot of paid holidays actually, and I want to use them. I should be using them. I just feel like
You've
I have
earned
them,
them.
right?
Yeah, you've earned
Yeah.
them.
Well, I wouldn't say I earned them. Like that's a weird. Like I
Hey,
don't feel like
you earned
I've
them.
worked. Yeah, I mean, but I have them, so might as well use them.
Oh
So
man.
I'm gonna take a couple of days off and sit down and play through 7. Did you see the final trailer? Like the thing that they're calling
No,
final trailer?
I didn't want to see it. Actually, I saw it was up, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna look at it. I
Oh,
don't want to
really?
see any. I
Okay.
don't want to see any more of the game. Like I'm actually to a point where I'm like, I don't want to see any more cutscenes and stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I won't like really say, but like in the final trailer, they are showing new stuff, like genuinely new stuff.
It's like we finally got the assets done. Like, no,
So like
really,
stuff that is not in
Midgard?
no, it's in Midgard,
Okay,
but
okay.
like that wasn't in the original game.
Oh,
So
okay.
when they said like, hey, it's gonna be like 50 to 60 hours, it's gonna be like the length of a normal RPG. Don't worry, it's not gonna be 3 hours like the original. We're gonna pad it with some. I don't want to say not pad. That's the wrong word.
Well,
But
we're gonna put side missions and flesh out some of the characters that you already kind of were like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if we saw like a little bit more of this person, kind of thing.
there's like the last half of that trailer is stuff that I have like never seen before.
Yes, we're
I
gonna.
don't know what's going on there. So it actually I can see how maybe this game is gonna be 60 hours long.
That's good. That's good. It's like it's a good thing, and they actually take a risk by putting that stuff in there. Yeah, and you never really think of it that way. It's like, oh, okay, well, we got more content, but at the end of the day, some people might say, like, is this the content that I actually wanted in this? So it'll be interesting to kind of play the game and hear your take on it as well, the non spoiler version. But the day is upon us finally. Who would have thought it'd come out on the Easter weekend? This is truly a
Yeah, what a
glorious, glorious.
crazy what a time to be alive, huh? Because like I just didn't think because like the PS3, this whole remake thing
Started with
started.
that freaking PS3 trailer of what the
Not even a
PS3
trailer.
could do.
It was a
No,
it was a
it was a
tech
tech
demo.
demo. It was a tech demo. This
It
is
was
what the
like
PS3
yeah,
can
yeah.
do.
It was like, hey, this is what the PS3 can. Yeah, exactly. Well, what it can do. Like, do you remember that cutscene from 7? Do you remember how good that looked at the time? Look how good it looks now. It's a tech demo.
This is where
And then,
this is
yeah.
where it started. 2006, right?
Oh my! It
2006,
was before the
2007.
PS3 came out, so it would
So
have
it
been
had to be
yeah, probably 2006 or
2006,
something. Yeah,
14 years
and
later.
and then people were like, "That looks so good. I want to play that." And then someone's like, "No, it's not a game. It's just a tech demo." It's like, "I want to play that." No, it's not. It's just a tech demo. You can't.
Hey, don't
It's
worry.
not a game.
PSP Go.
Yeah.
Guess what we're doing? Final Fantasy 7 PlayStation re-release remastered. Oh fudge, Square. We just want to see that game that you showed us in
You know what's? I was
2006.
thinking about that recently. Like, do you remember when
People got
they?
trolled.
Right. I was thinking about that recently, but because projects obviously take time to get off the ground, like they start as ideas and then they grow from there. So when they like had announced the remaster of the PC version, essentially, and people were like, "Oh, you trolls," or Square, how dare you? Like, no doubt, remake was already in the works at that time. They just couldn't talk about it.
Was it like? Well, there are those behind the scenes kind of episodes that they've been putting up on YouTube, and I don't know if I've kind of stayed away from those as well. Like, I don't want to
Yeah,
see
actually, I
everything.
didn't watch them. I didn't watch them either.
It's
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
was like, but I mean, I figured the reason a lot of this was happening, and they've been quizzed on it so many times, but they always wanted to get like as much of the original team together as possible, and you can see it with the director. Nomura doing the art again, and we all know Nomura was stuck on Kingdom Hearts for God knows however long. He just wouldn't get that done. I mean, part of me thinks that part of that was the reason. In Final Fantasy 13, being Final Fantasy 13 and going on forever. But like you said, it had to have been going on at some point in time. They had to actually say, maybe this would be a good thing to do. You know what I mean? Remakes are in.
Yeah, they had to. It started as an idea, and they're like, okay, is it feasible? What's the budget? Like, who can work on it? Like, when are we going to get resources freed up? Like, they are a company, and they do have to manage their product pipeline, right?
Yeah.
And these games just don't get. They just don't get. It's not at a snap of a finger, right? You just can't make these games.
You can't.
So like, when they trolled everyone, they were probably already starting to work on it. At least in early planning stages, right?
And like, who would have thought? Like, after all of the Final Fantasy 13 stuff, then I mean, really, I think that the turning point was Final Fantasy 14. Did I get it right?
MMO?
The MMO. I think the MMO really helped a lot of people kind of see Square in a little bit lighter, because Final Fantasy after 13, people were like, "This is garbage. Like, we're done. And then 15 was kind of like, oh, it's pretty good, but nah, it's still not like, it's not what we want, It's not, it's too Kingdom Heartsy action. Like, can we just get a good RPG? And we just didn't have a good 3D RPG from Square other than Dragon Quest. Can't put down Dragon Quest, everyone, but we do not associate with that with Square in the West. Not as much. Unless you know.
Yeah, it's just not as big as FF in the West, but yeah.
So this is like the return, other than Final Fantasy 14. This is the return that everyone's waiting for. Like, this is the Call of Duty bros are going to be on this, Bren.
Yeah, I mean everyone really fondly remembers FF7, I think.
And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the sales. And we're what? Let's just go into the news. Play a soundbite for me. I want another one.
Make your dreams come true!
One I haven't heard before.
This battle is about to explode.
There we go. Okay, and on to the news, because I don't know, I just feel like we can just keep it going. We got some good energy here. So speaking of things coming out and not coming out, and especially due to the COVID, the elusive virus that we want the C virus, darn it. Anyways, Last of Us 2 got delayed indefinitely, along with Iron Man VR.
No date. Yeah, I like how it's like, Last of Us Part 2 and also something else. I forget. Oh yeah.
Iron Man VR. Don't forget it.
No offense to Iron Man VR. I'm just not, I don't know.
Yeah, so it was unfortunately delayed, and it was supposed to come out in May. And remember, it was also supposed to come out in February, if I remember, of this year.
Yeah, so this is the second delay.
This is the second delay, and like I said, it's indefinitely. On the PlayStation blog, Neil Druckmann, who is the director, of course, he was saying that it's rough, and the team's been working on it for years, and we've seen this at like 2, 3, 4 E3s. Like, it's really anticipated. It sucks, but right now, the team is working at home, so the scheduling isn't exactly. I think they're crushing bugs mainly right now, is what it says at the bottom of the article.
They said like the game itself is still on track, but the delay is primarily due to logistics of shipping the game, not making the game. So it's not a development delay. It's just like a release
delay
thing. Yeah.
And we're getting this news from like GameStop, not GameStop. God, not GameStop. GameSpot. Kotaku, Press Square, and a couple other news sites. But yeah, like Alex was saying, it's a logistics delay, and Final Fantasy 7, as a lot maybe people know, was shipped earlier to certain countries.
Yeah, they shipped it out early
ahead of this whole Japan Post not shipping certain things. It's logistics are kind of iffy right now, and they just want the game to be played by as many people as possible, and that includes digital release and physical releases. A lot of people still pre-order their stuff on, at a store.
Physically, yeah.
I
do know a lot of people buy their games because they're like, oh, I want to own it. Like, I want to feel like I own it.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a discussion a lot of times already on the podcast already, but like I'm less tied to physical goods because I just like the convenience factor. Yeah. Especially with stuff like Steam, where I can have 30 games installed at a time.
And it's like they look nice on a shelf, but I had to get real when I moved to Japan. Like, I don't have as much space as I used to. Like, I don't have a place to really like nicely display them. So it's one of those things, and a lot of people really do like a lot of these collector's editions that are available, especially for Last of Us with the statues, and
take up space, dude.
they take up space. But a lot of these you have to get at a store or shipped from Amazon, and with all this current shipping logistics happening, it's just really kind of hard to figure out what to do, what's the best right now. So, we hope that the game does come out sooner than later. Maybe it's just pure PS5. I don't know, but a lot of people are still looking forward to it. I'm still looking forward to it. It's a good series. And if you haven't played the first game, then I guess now it's time to go and play it.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid game. It's not like scary, I would say. It's just like a tense,
good
third-person shooter, let's say.
Yeah, it's a tense. It's what they're known for. Naughty Dog they're good with their stories, and they don't fail with it. I had some reactions, of course, in that story, just like, oh, for real, why, no, like that kind of thing happening.
Yeah, I mean, I read from people who are fathers that like that game is like at times like really hard to play.
There are some moments.
It's like very emotionally, especially if you are a father, which I'm not at, so I'm like, oh, that sucks, I guess, but Yeah,
there's one part, not being a father, but just because I'm not a father either. But there was one point in the game where I was just like, oh, come on, no, please don't do this. This is some Walking Dead level shit right here that's about to go down. Like
there's some pretty dramatic moments in that game for sure. And I think part 2 will probably just have some more of that.
Yeah, if you can't top the best dad of all time, Kratos. That's
oh yeah.
Boy,
is he best dad? Is he
the
best
dad? Dude, my best line ever. It's like, Dad, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Be better.
Who's the best video game dad? Is it Kratos?
For me, it has to be Kratos. I don't know any other ones at this point. I mean, there are definitely other ones. So are there? Aren't there?
Video game. I'm gonna Google it right now.
Technically, Homer Simpson is a video game dad.
Video game dads.
Thrown off.
There's a website. I just brought up a link from a site called thedad. This is not a shout out to thedad.com, but it pulls up this article from thedad.com. Ellie or Eli Vance from Half-Life 2, Bowser, I guess, from Super Smash Bros. Kratos, yeah. Harry Mason from Silent Hill. King Rome from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Big Daddy. He's not a dad. That one doesn't count. Mike Hager from Final Fight. Joel from The Last of Us. Dr. Light from Mega Man. John Marston from Red Dead. Okay. And that's it. That's the list.
That's the list of dads. The gaming dads list compendium. There might be some more. I mean, if we're counting Dr. Light, then we can probably add some more after that. we can add some more people who have creations, right?
He's barely a dad.
It's like, oh, and yeah, we can add some more after that. But yeah, this has nothing to do with dads. But when we're talking about Doom Eternal, apparently the franchise has broken some records within days of release. The 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, which is apparently twice as much twice the revenue. What does it do? Doom Eternal has earned twice the revenue of 2016's.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype going into Eternal. Just because, I wouldn't call it marketing, but like the whole Animal Crossing Doom, like,
dude, did you see that? Oh my goodness.
The jokes that people were making about both those games, like it kind of indirectly helped Eternal, I think.
They fed off each other so well. There was like this little animated cinematic that I watched that had what's the dog's name?
The dog is Isabel.
Isabel, yeah, Isabel or Isabella. Like she was on the Doomslayer's shoulder, and they went into hell and started slaying together. Mm-hmm. It was like that girl is creepy. I truly believe she can take someone's life now.
Sure, yeah. I mean, so there was like jokes about the two of them being friends or whatever. I think that indirectly helped Eternal. And also just because Doom 2016, I think a lot of people had doubts about that game because they're like, oh, it's probably not going to be very good. But it turned out to be a very good game.
It turned out to be really good, yeah.
And then now that everyone was like, oh, 2016 was pretty good. And I think that helped Eternal be like, okay, well, this is probably going to be just more of that.
And speaking on something that has somewhat good PR, maybe not, I don't know. We were talking about the show, before the show, Valorant. The closed beta is going to start on April 7th, but the only way to actually get into the beta is to watch Twitch streamers, which
that whole thing just seems like a marketing ploy.
And for those of you who don't know what Valorant is, it is Riot Games' first-person shooter that they're coming out with, developed by, goodness, what studio is this? I should probably figure out the studio. But anyways, it's developed by another studio. And I don't know.
It's not developed by Riot? It's just like published by Riot?
It's published by Riot. It's part of their, what was that initiative that they talked about? The Forge, I think that's what it's called. But yeah, this game isn't done by specifically Riot. And but it's like pretty much CSGO / Overwatch hero shooter-ish.
Yeah, so is it like Overwatch, but just way more grounded, let's say? Like not as fast-paced or...
It's as fast-paced as Counter-Strike. Like from what I've seen, I've watched, some of the abilities and some of the gameplay of it. You have rounds that go just as fast as Counter-Strike rounds, so the time to kill is pretty much like you hit someone in the head or in the body a couple times.
They're dead already,
they're dead. Overwatch, you still have healers. You still have that kind of MOBA battle... I don't know, that MOBA character role system going. So you can keep people alive. You can keep rezzing. Like there's stuff that draws the battles out, and you can see like 15, 20 minute battle easily. But yeah, this one is just multiple rounds, 3-5 rounds or so. And the powers, if I remember how they described them, the devs said they don't they don't turn the tide of battle. There's no like ultimates that you're dropping down, but they do just tactically enhance something for your team. They can kind of help you do things a little bit better. So I think one of the examples I saw was there's like some type of greenish wall that you can put up. Like people can't see through it. So it's almost like a smoke screen, You're still trying to defuse a bomb or plant the bomb. It's
not like an actual barrier, right? You can still shoot through it and stuff?
You can still shoot through it, but you just don't know what's there. And there's other characters that can kind of have some not symmetry but synergy with it. Maybe they can use their ability to shoot through it like a, what do you want to call it, like a homing arrow? Not homing arrow, but radar. Yeah, there we go. They can shoot a radar on the other side that they can see through it. So it's kind of like vice versa. You put up this wall we can't see, but hey, I got a hero that can actually shoot this mobile radar as an arrow, and then we can actually see through it and see where you are.
So it would be like smoke and then having everyone have thermal sights on their guns.
Exactly. That's the only case I know. There's other cases for sure. I haven't watched too much of it, but Valorant, I don't know. I'm not hyped for it because I'm not playing Counter-Strike. I'm playing Apex.
Right. Okay.
But I think a lot of pros, I think will definitely, we'll see a swing towards it, and then we'll see what happens after that. Like what happens in the landscape. It's crazy. Warzone, Valorant, Fortnite, and Apex.
I mean, I'm curious about where this shooter will go, but I don't know if I'll play it, to be honest. Like I don't know. Like I didn't really get into Overwatch, and I haven't gotten into CS:GO.
The good thing, I guess, is that at least it'll be short. Like rounds, like Overwatch, it really is a MOBA. Like you invest 15, 20 minutes into a game. No matter if you're losing or winning, you're about to play a 15-minute match. Unless you just get rolled really hard, but that's
true, yeah.
It really does take a lot out of you. But Apex is coming up in terms of adding things that we want.
Oh yeah, there's a update coming out like this week, right?
Yeah, there's an update coming out from April 7th through the 21st. That update is going to be The Old Ways, and this is kind of chronicling Bloodhound's story, which if you haven't seen the cinematic, go watch it. It is amazing. I gotta say, these guys, this team is putting a lot of good stuff into this story. But we're going to be able to play, and this is the permanent stuff that they're adding is duos. Duos will be permanent, and map rotation, Kings Canyon or World's Edge. You can choose to play trios or duos on either map.
Wait, is it choose your map, or is it a map rotation where it's like a random map?
What it says is just map rotation.
Okay, because when I saw map rotation, I assumed it was just like, because when you go into the menu, it says like play ranked or play Apex.
Right.
And I was thinking that if you chose play Apex, it would just pick like a random map for you.
That'll be interesting. I don't know how they've decided to do it. It seems like they want it to be just like straight up. I don't know. You can choose which one you want to play on. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting because of the way that people play on certain maps. I don't know. I don't like duos as much, but I know a lot of people do, and of course, people want solos after this. But they've said they don't have any intentions of doing solos. It's just not something they're interested in doing or that's going to work for the game. So, but you never know. I mean, there are solo events that they've done in the past. So
They just done the one, if I believe. Is there another
oh wait,
one?
no, there is one. Yeah, it was just one. Yeah, it's just one.
It was just the one, yeah.
It was just the one. They said they're looking at data. They have the data, so they're like, "Yo, we see how people are playing, and it's okay. You guys don't worry. Screw the
Yeah.
Reddit post and the Twitters."
Apparently, they say it's just not good for the game to do solos, and I don't know. So the two arguments for solos is like, in trios at least, like in the game only game mode you can play right now is like, you'll find people who treat the game like solos. Like they'll just leave the party. They'll just
go off.
Right. So they're not helping the team at all. And when they get down, they don't even try to wait to get respawned. They just leave.
Yeah.
So
I've definitely played with some people like that.
if they have a solos mode, all those people could just play that, and then anyone left would actually be team players.
Is what we think in theory.
Well, that's one side of the argument, and the other side of the argument is like, it could help, it could hurt population, like
splitting the player base and
splitting the player base and stuff like that. I don't really know. Even if there were a solo mode, I probably wouldn't play it because
it's not for me.
Yeah, you play the game way more slower. You turtle a lot more.
Yeah.
And I think only certain legends become viable, like Pathfinder, Wraith, Gibraltar would probably be the only picks. Like I play as Octane a lot, right?
Yeah.
But what is a solo Octane going to do? Like jump pad everywhere? Like, you know what I mean? Like
just like, oh hey, look, I'm gonna jump over you and shoot you in a linear course while someone shoots me. It's like
what? Yeah. So
yeah.
When would Octane ever be viable in solos? Like he's really only useful with a team to like get teammates out to other places with a jump pad.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, and I don't know. So this new event though is trying something different. You're going to be able to play the Bloodhound Trials. There's an area in World's Edge, probably similar to like Octane's little crazy challenge place, which was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's the same idea, right? It's called a takeover town.
Mm-hmm. Same idea, and there's going to be some kind of beasts that are there, prowlers. So we've kind of seen some hints at them into the world, but they're going to be there for you to kind of kill as well in order to earn loot. So it's almost like a weird PvE element while you're in PvP, is what it seems.
Yeah, that's cool.
So they're testing this out, which hey. It's going to be up by the time this podcast goes up, so let us know how you enjoy it. We'll let you know what we're thinking. There's going to be, of course, legendary skins and new gun skin, cosmetics, a lot of different things. And, of course, what I like the best, the young bloodhound skin, because you get to call Bloodhound Young Blood.
Yeah, I guess you could, yeah.
No, it's really called the Young Blood. Anyways.
Well, I believe you.
We've got a bunch of other news stories, kind of ish, sort of. I'm going to go over these and you can pick which one you kind of want to talk about. E3 2021 is apparently going to be hosted from June 15th to June 17th, 2021, and they're going to be reimagining it. Ooh. Resident Evil 8 is apparently going to be on PS5. Who would have thought? No one. I mean, everyone. It's going to be a first person is what the rumor is, and that it's going to be announced soon. That's another news story that's kind of updating and happening, if anyone's excited about that. And if you're stuck inside, you can just watch a bunch of cool things on HBO. Up until April 30th, Detective Pikachu, The Sopranos, The Wire, a lot of different things are currently free on HBO Now and HBOGo.com. And you don't even have to sign up for them. This is not a paid sponsorship. This is like just legit me going, my friend was like, hey, you can just watch a bunch of stuff like for free.
Is that available for Japan as well?
No, we're tied into Amazon Prime or Netflix. I
Is
think it's-
is HBO Go or whatever it is that even available in Japan?
I don't think it is, because me and my friend, we watch Game of Thrones and Westworld on Amazon Prime, so I think they have it, but it's still primarily through Prime or something, because those are their biggest shows. So I don't know why
Yeah.
they're on Prime.
We don't even have Disney Plus in Japan yet.
It's still not here.
No.
That's really because as much as Disney, like, people love Disney here, that should be here.
Yeah, because I was thinking recently that I want to watch the MCU movies because I haven't seen them. So I've seen Avengers 1, Guardians of the Galaxy,
Right.
and I think that's it. Like, those are literally the only MCU movies that I've ever seen.
You got a lot to catch up on. You can watch
So I
some
was
of them
like-
on Netflix.
Yeah,
earlier
the problem
Iron
is
Mans.
some though, right? Yeah.
Just the early
So I
Iron
was
Mans.
like, oh, I want to just like binge it. Maybe I want to sit down and like just soak up this universe. Where can I go see these? I'm like, oh, Disney Plus, right? Now that it's owned by Disney, Marvel. And so I looked up Disney Plus, but it's just not available in Japan right now.
It's kind of strange. Like, Disney is a weird thing. I don't know. Are Disney cell phones a thing in Canada or other parts of the world? Because
No.
it's a brand here.
Yeah. Do they still make Disney phones? Because
I
that
feel
was
like- yeah.
that was an early 2010s thing. So when I came to Japan, like as a student,
Mhm.
and when I came here prior to that on vacation as not a university kid, but I remember going to like SoftBank or Docomo or whatever, and it was SoftBank, right? Yeah, SoftBank.
Yeah, SoftBank.
And then you could get Disney branded phones. I was like, that is weird.
It is weird. They don't really look different either.
I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm gonna go to
They-
SoftBank and
I
see
think
if they still make.
I think they still do. It's just not pushed as much as their smartphones now, of course. And while Alex is looking those up, be sure to make sure if you're on PlayStation Plus, Uncharted 4 and Dirt Rally 2.0 are the free games for April. And if you're not checking the Epic Game Store for any free games, remember they keep doing free games like weekly. This week was like Gone Home, Drawful 2, and then by the time this podcast goes up, Sherlock Holmes is going to be next. So I don't know. Check that. Check out free stuff. When you can get free, get it free. And for me, I gotta say, best trailer of all time. Okay, it's not the best trailer of all time, but if you watch Train to Busan, that movie's getting a sequel. I can't believe it's gonna be a sequel. I mean, I can by the end of that movie. I remember it could set up for a sequel, but the trailer's pretty cool. Go check it out, and I can't wait for this movie to actually for it to drop. That's all I have.
There are no Disney phones anymore.
Dang. No Disney phones, and all the Marvel movies just got pushed back 2 years. Well, not 2 years, but 4 or 5 months. And that'll do it for us this week. I think we had a pretty decent show, a little bit longer than last week. We're going to try to keep doing that alternating long, short, and we hope that you'll continue to stay with us. We know that, times be hard financially, also health-wise, and we just hope that you stay safe, stay in, wash your hands, do the best you can, and we wish you the best.
Okay.
This has been a bizarre episode.
Sure, I guess. Be safe, and we'll see you guys next week, I guess. Have a good day.
Yeah. We'll see you next week for episode number 30. Remember, you can catch us and find us on YouTube at Unknown Games Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at UGP_cast. I think the phone call keeps happening.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's what happens when we get kicked off. We get kicked off the show. Anyways, remember, you set the tone. Have a good day. Go play some games and enjoy your life. Peace.
All right, peace.
Make your dreams come true!
Never gets old.
Never.